Now that we have all of our panels in place, or most of them anyway, we can actually start tightening things up a bit here and start making sure that these panels fit within one another, and also make sure that these panels work with the sole of the shoe as well, the tooling. So what we need to do is go ahead and import the sole elements, the midsole and bottom sole, and make sure that they match up to the shoe, and go ahead and go to File, Import, navigate over to your Assets directory, load that in, go to Open, and Modo puts those elements into a folder all into themselves, so you can move everything at once. But we actually want to move things as individual objects, or in poly mode as opposed to item mode. So also you'll notice that when you import a scene, it also brings in any lights and cameras that were in that scene. So I'm just going to click those to delete them, and I don't need that camera in there either. So all I need is these two elements. So I'll select those, and while in one of the element modes here, I'm going to just sort of reposition it so that it matches up with the shoe. So I'll use my move tool. I'll just move it there. And let's see. I'm going to assume that it is the right height. And yeah, I think we're good there. Now we're going to have to tighten things up a little bit. And the question here is, do we match the sole to the shoe, or do we match the shoe and panels to the sole? Well, the truth is it's a little bit of both. So we're going to be playing with this to match everything up. Now you might be asking yourself, why didn't we just model these panels with the sole in place? Well, that's all well and good if the sole is available to you at the time, but not always will you be able to have that sole model available when you want to start modeling your shoe panels. And also there may be different sole, outer sole, or midsole that you want to try to fit this to, or different versions of the shoe to. So in this way, this kind of shows you how we can adjust these panels to fit a given sole or a given midsole. You're going to find that with this particular workflow that the element move tool, the T key actually, in the deform toolbox is going to be your best friend. So you're going to use that more than anything for this process. So while in polygon mode, I'm going to go ahead and select the toe cap vamp and the saddle, and we're going to move both those simultaneously. So I'm going to right click, to make sure that I'm in element move tool. I'm in element move. I'm going to right click and expand my brush size there, and I'm just going to move that straight down. And you'll notice they both move at the same time, and the toe cap vamp area here kind of sinks beneath the surface a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and drag that down as well. Just kind of fit that in, and if it moves out a little, if it sinks in a little, just pull it out. It's a very intuitive sort of tool. Now I want to just move the lower part of the saddle here. I'm going to, let's see, go into the tool properties. Bring that up there, and where it says connected elements, ignore, I'm going to use connectivity. And what that does is simply keeps the brush from selecting elements that are not connected to the polygons or other elements that you are selecting. So I'm going to right click, maybe about that big, and just going to move this down a little bit. And don't be afraid to make bold moves with this, because this is kind of almost a sculptural process if you think about it. So that's pretty much this whole process. It's just a matter of taking the element move tool and just kind of pushing and pulling and nudging everything so that it fits nicely together.